Today we'll be looking at some kids who tried to be a little bit smart.
This kid was asked what ended in 1896. He wrote 1895. Alright, now this kid is onto something.
What ended in 1996, 1995? That question is very vague.
This girl was asked to find X in her math class. She didn't know the answer, so she just drew an arrow pointing to X and wrote, "Here it is." I wonder what... This kid was asked to describe school in one word. He wrote hell.
Right.
This kid was asked to draw a picture of what he would look like in 100 years. He ended up drawing his own grave. I mean, at least this kid is thinking realistically, right?
Right.
Briefly explain what hard water is. Instead of writing a few sentences explaining what hard water is, this kid just wrote the word ice. This kid was asked to expand the following equation, but I think they ended up taking this question a bit too literally. This girl was asked what her mum should do less of. She drew this picture and wrote drink wine. I think her mum might have a problem. This kid was asked to name the following shapes, but instead of writing what the shapes were called, this kid ended up writing actual names like Bob, Sam, Tennyson, Cole and Harry.
Right. As if schoolwork was this easy.
This kid had a question in the test about naming the opposite, but when it came to writing the opposite of a pro, this kid wrote noob. I bet his teacher had no idea what this kid was talking about. What do we call the science of classifying living things? This kid wrote racism. This kid wrote 2 + 2 = 4, but then under that he tried to make himself look even more smart, but things didn't really work out for him.
I can do math.
During a test for science class, this kid was asked to write what the strongest force on earth is. He wrote love. His teacher did not like this answer though and decided to draw a big X over this kid's answer. Problem: you fell on the playground and scratched your knee. This kid's solution to this problem was to get up and deal with it. This must be one tough kid. This kid was asked to write what is meant by the word forgetting. They wrote I don't remember. I mean, technically this kid isn't wrong, right?
Yo.
This kid was asked to help this dog get out of the maze and to his treasure, but this kid found an insane shortcut. He's definitely going places in life. This kid could wish for anything he wanted in the whole world. He wrote 2 quarters and $3. This kid definitely has some big dreams in life. Hopefully someone was able to grant him his wish. A kid was asked if they wanted to swim with this boy in the water. They wrote no because there's trash in the water and he's chubby. The trash part of the answer was correct, but his teacher wasn't too happy about the chubby part. During a math test, this kid was asked to find the difference between 180 and 158. This kid wrote 22, which is the correct answer. He was then asked to explain how he found the answer for that question. He wrote math. This kid just gets straight to the point. Miranda can't see anything when she looks down her microscope. Suggest one reason why not. This kid wrote Miranda is blind. The teacher wrote nice try. I mean, I guess this kid wasn't technically wrong though. This kid completely forgot to study for his test, so instead of trying to answer this question, he drew a sticker that said top secret as well as some spilt coffee over the questions. This teacher wasn't very happy about this, and I'm sure that he got a detention for what he did. This kid was asked what is the best estimate for the length of a football. He circled 1 foot and then wrote ball next to it. This kid has really high IQ. This kid was asked to complete the sentence with either the man fit the dog or the man hit the dog. This kid ended up changing his answer to pet the dog and then wrote you should not hit dogs. This kid is going places in life. This kid was asked to name 6 animals that live in Antarctica, but instead of writing 6 different animals, he wrote 2 polar bears and 4 seals. His teacher was not impressed by the answer. This kid was asked to write what they thought the best solution to overpopulation is. This kid wrote 3 words, The Hunger Games. This kid was asked what this diagram best demonstrates. He crossed out all the multiple choice answers and wrote giraffes are heartless creatures. If this drawing is anything like real life, this kid is right. Giraffes are heartless creatures. This kid handed in his homework to his teacher, but his teacher was confused when she saw this random circle on the page. When she looked closer, this kid had written do not touch this is snot that fell from my nose. I mean, at least this kid tried to warn his teacher. How kind of him. This kid was asked which colour is pulled less often. He wrote green. When he was asked to explain how he got this answer, he wrote my brain is always correct. Now this is a kid that you should never mess with. This kid was learning about Earth Day in school. When he was asked in a test what was something he learned about Earth Day that could be useful in the future, he wrote, I did not know that Earth Day was on April 12th. It might come in useful in a trivia game. The first cells were probably, this kid wrote lonely. Imagine that you lived at the same time as Abraham Lincoln. What would you say to him? This kid wrote, I'd tell him not to go to a play ever. Alright, now this kid is a true hero. This kid was asked to write the opposites of these words. For good, he wrote bad. For black, he wrote white. And then for original, he wrote China. His teacher was not impressed with this answer at all. I'm sure this kid ended up getting a detention.
So what's the original words for it is all that. As the Is that a E? A S?
This kid was asked in his science test what the highest frequency noise that a human can register. This kid had no idea what the answer was because they forgot to study, so she ended up writing Mariah Carey. This kid was asked to write who her hero is. She wrote her father. She was then asked to write why her dad is her hero. She wrote because he is not afraid of anything. She was then asked to write if there's anything her father is afraid of. She wrote her mother. Her mother must be a really scary person. This kid was asked to draw a square in the space below. This kid got a little confused though because he ended up drawing a square in outer space. This kid is going to be an artist one day. This kid was asked to write whether the numbers were less than or greater than. He ended up writing or for each answer. Hopefully his teacher was able to explain this question to him. Tony practices the piano for 20 minutes every day. This kid wrote that this means Tony is a big nerd. I'm sure his teacher wasn't too happy with the answer to this question. This kid was asked to circle the smallest number. He was then asked to show how he knew this was the answer. The kid ended up drawing a rainbow. I wonder what his teacher thought when she saw this in the test paper. This 2.5-year-old girl was asked who the most important people to her are. She wrote her family. She then wrote her interests were Minions, Baby Dolls, and Rebel Alliance. She was then asked what she does not like. She ended up writing Grandpa Joe. Marcus is the strongest kid in the 2nd grade. He used to lift 12 pounds, now he can lift 97 pounds. How much more can he lift now? This kid wrote Marcus is on steroids. This kid was asked how you would make a marriage work. He wrote, tell your wife she looks pretty even if she looks like a dump truck. This kid is going to have a really happy wife someday in the future. This kid was asked to change centimeters to meters. She wrote, take out centi. I mean, technically this kid wasn't wrong. This kid was asked, what is your favorite hue? They ended up writing Jackman. These were some crazy and hilarious test answers from kids. But now I've actually got a small test for you. Take a look at this photo here. Really look at this photo carefully and then let me know if you think that this girl is above the water or underneath the water.
I'll say... This looks funny, man. I'll say she's above the water. She looks like she's above. Why I say so? Because her hair does look wet.
Alright, so the truth is that this girl is actually above the water. You can tell by her feet right here.
Subscribe, turn on your post notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Big up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
This kid was asked to write what he liked most about his teacher, but his answer wasn't to a...
Hey, Salama. Oh, as he passes by.